Episode 36. Clap again. The atmosphere in the bar instantly ignited, with patrons' hormones surging, letting out a roar like a tidal wave, downing 24 bottles in one go. It was simply like a wine god had descended. Sonny Ridge fixed his gaze on those empty bottles on the table, his pupils suddenly contracting. Quiet, his face ashen. He shouted, and the noisy bar instantly fell silent. Everyone turned their attention to him. Losing 10 million in the drinking challenge. No one dared to upset Ridge while he was fuming. What's the matter, bro? You can't afford to lose. Julius Reed slowly turned around, expressionless. With so many people watching today, do you want to tarnish Black Wind Bar's reputation? Upon hearing this, Ridge's heart suddenly tightened. The Black Wind Bar drew in so many patrons partly because it was safe. Secondly, because the bar's reputation was solid. No one dared to default on their debts here. If Ridge, as the bar owner, were to start weaseling out, Black Wind Bar's reputation would certainly hit rock bottom, with losses beyond estimation. If such an incident occurred, the Three Blade Group would inevitably pursue it. Ridge was pocketing tens of millions each year from the bar. If he were punished by the group for this incident and lost this income, it wasn't sure if Morris Yarrow would even let him live. All eyes were on him, eager to see how this nominal bar owner would solve the issue. You cheated. Ridge gritted his teeth and said, word by word. He did not believe that Julius could have finished all that liquor in such a short time. 24 bottles, 500 milliliters each. That's 12 liters. A normal person's stomach isn't that large. And alcohol, unlike water, even contains gas. But looking at how flat Julius's stomach was, who would think he had been drinking? Oh, with so many people watching, you're accusing me of cheating? Julius's gaze was piercing as he stared right into Ridge's eyes. Ridge was at a loss for words. If he didn't let Julius leave, Black Wind Bar's reputation would be utterly ruined. But if he let Julius walk away just like that, the loss of 10 million was minor compared to the blow to his pride. Let's change it up. Let's fight it out. Do you dare? With that thought, Ridge steeled his heart. He was confident in his abilities. Looking at his opponent's weak appearance, he was sure to win in a fight. What a sight to see today. I've been hanging around bars for decades and never expected to witness such a powerful showdown. This kid hasn't lost yet today. Taking 10 million from Sonny Ridge is enough to cause a sensation in Gonzales City. Guess who will win this time? While everyone was buzzing with anticipation, Julius shook his head and said, haven't you heard the saying, quit while you're ahead? I've made so much money now. Why should I agree to you? Ridge's face darkened, his fists clenched tight. Never mind that he was the bar's nominal owner, just being the deputy manager of the Gonzales City branch of the Three Blade Group. No one dared to talk to him like that. If he let Julius go just like that, he would be utterly humiliated. But if he didn't let Julius go, the damage to Black Wind Bar's reputation was incalculable. The patrons held their breath, eager to see how Ridge would resolve the matter. If you want me to stay, you have to come up with a bet that intrigues me. Julius smiled faintly. Otherwise, I might just leave. What would it take for you to fight me? Ridge asked, already deciding he would agree to whatever Julius demanded. Ridge was very confident in his fighting skills. Last time, he was just careless. Then I'll take both your hands. I don't like impolite people much. Plus 50 million in cash. If you win, I'll pay double. Julius raised his eyebrows, looking at Ridge with a mocking smile. If the Three Blade Group dared to make trouble for him, he wouldn't mind giving them a big surprise. Within half a day, the news would spread throughout Five River Province with people from all sectors in Black Wind Bar. It was like making a statement to deter others from troubling him again. Young fellow, what do you mean by this? Sonny Ridge's eyes narrowed, and a murderous aura emanated from him. The people behind him also crowded forward with unfriendly expressions. The atmosphere became awkward, and the air was filled with the strong scent of gunpowder. I'm not forcing you. If you can't accept it, then I bid you farewell. Julius Reed chuckled lightly and turned to leave. Wait, I'll fight you after an inner struggle. Sonny Ridge's anger overcame his reason. In front of all these people, don't you dare go back on your words. Sonny Ridge was very confident in his skills, and he couldn't just watch as the other party took 10 million from him. Not only would this disgrace the reputation of the Three Blade Group, but he would also become a laughingstock. But if he could win back the money and cripple the other party's legs and feet, his fame in Gonzales City would surely spread. However, what he didn't know was that standing by Julius Reed's side was Aaron Jackson. who Morris Yarrow regarded as a formidable opponent. So you really want to fight? Since you're courting death, I don't mind obliging you. At this point, Sonny Ridge simply shed his mask and looked at Julius Reed coldly. This young man was too ignorant of his boundaries and didn't know how to behave properly. If you lose, you won't relieve, will you? Julius Reed eyed the people from the Three Blade Group inside the bar, his face deliberately showing a hint of worry. When I, Sonny Ridge, spit, it's as solid as a nail. In this line of work, honor is everything. Sonny Ridge patted his chest and shouted in front of everyone. Brothers, I ask you all to bear witness today. All right. Manager Ridge is powerful and domineering. The guests let out sharp screams. Some even blew whistles. They knew this showdown would be a tale told in Gonzales City for at least 5 years. If Sonny Ridge won, not only would he uphold the reputation of the Three Blade Group by subduing Black Wind Bar and crushing a ruffian, but his prestige would also greatly increase within the group and throughout Gonzales City. If Julius Reed luckily won, these people didn't dare to imagine, would the Three Blade Group really let their manager be beaten with broken hands? And given that Julius Reed's background didn't seem simple, what kind of sparks would the clash ignite? Fair enough. Then let's decide the outcome with one fight. Julius Reed walked to an open area and stretched out his hand. Since this is your turf, you go first. Good. You're indeed a straightforward man. Sonny Ridge narrowed his eyes and strode over. The two men seemed to be chatting merrily, but dominating Tiger was sweating bullets behind them. Breaking the arms of the deputy manager of the Gonzales City branch on the Three Blade Group's turf was just too thrilling. He wiped the sweat from his forehead and slid his hand into his jacket pocket. Inside, there was a derringer. I hope you keep your promise in the bar. Sonny Ridge's eyes narrowed, and he suddenly made his move. You lose. This time Sonny Ridge wasn't complacent. He unleashed his killer move right away. If you want to die, so be it. A cold sneer crossed Sonny Ridge's mind as the people from the Three Blade Group slowly closed in. Bang. Julius Reed didn't move from his spot and threw a hard punch, sending Sonny Ridge flying backward. Revenge. The people from the Three Blade Group roared and swarmed in an instant. What are you doing? Dominating Tiger quickly stepped in front of them. The very thing he had feared the most had indeed happened. Episode 37. Acting naughty. The air in the Black Wind Bar was thick with the smell of gunpowder. Onlookers held their breaths, ready to witness the moment. Although Julius Reed's victory was expected, there was still a sense of regret in everyone's heart. This was Sonny Ridge's turf, and he couldn't escape. All the victories he had achieved before seemed insignificant in front of the Three Blade Group. What's the matter, Brother Ridge? You're not going to be a sore loser now. Avon, seeing these people surround him, dominating Tiger's expression instantly turned cold, and the bartenders of the Three Blade Group also rolled up their sleeves, ready to take action. In the Black Wind Bar, no one had ever left with tens of millions in winnings. Not before, and not in the future either. So you're just a bunch of bullies. Knowing they were prepared to fight, Julius Reed still had a calm and composed look on his face, as if he was holding all the winning cards. Sonny Ridge thought he could beat me. That was simply impossible. Sure enough, after hearing Julius Reed's words, Sonny Ridge said with a grim face, "Kid, I'm sorry, but in my place, you have to follow my rules." The moment the other party made such a humiliating request, Sonny Ridge had already intended to kill. He was the deputy manager of the Three Blade Group's Gonzales City branch, and someone had threatened to break his hands. For the past 2 years, the Three Blade Group had been rising like the sun at noon, with tremendous influence across the Five River province. As a member of the group, his arrogance was naturally boundless. Breaking Julius Reed's limbs today was more about showing the guests present. Whoever dared to pull a whisker out from under the tiger's chin had better be prepared to be eaten. Brother, I advise you to kneel down and beg for mercy, or else your brothers won't make it out in one piece. Sonny Ridge stood up from the ground, glanced at dominating Tiger and the others, and a cold smile appeared on his lips. Causing trouble on the home turf of the Three Blade Group, isn't that seeking death? The guests stared intently at Julius Reed, wanting to see how he would solve the problem. Although Sonny Ridge was unreasonable and had lost the fight, no one could stop him from being a sore loser. You've lost, and now I'm going to take your hand. Julius Reed approached the bar table and spoke calmly. Brother, you can't doubt my strength. Right, all right. I'll let you die with a clear understanding. Just witness the strength of the three-blade group for yourself. This was a sure win situation that simply couldn't be turned around. But Sunny Ridge kept a close watch on the door to prevent him from running away. Those who aren't afraid of death, come at me. Julius Reed rolled up his sleeves and said to the people of the three-blade group, I'm unarmed now, but beating you guys is no different from killing chickens trying some trick. No matter what you try, you can't escape defeat. Surrounded and still daring to provoke us, daring to provoke Sunny Ridge in front of everyone. Was Julius Reed courting death? Sunny Ridge's brow furrowed. Unsure of what Julius Reed was up to, a situation that was sure to lose. Was there even a need to struggle? No wonder you got the king on your first draw. A daring idea appeared in everyone's mind. Cut the crap. Sunny Ridge's pupils shrank as he grabbed the guest by his side and shouted, How dare you say I'm not honorable? No. Lord Ridge, you heard wrong. The guest was terrified, shaking all over. If you're afraid of what others say, why do you have people stopping us? In this world, there's no one as shameless as you. Julius Reed tucked his hands into his pockets, his eyes filled with ridicule. Just now, everyone saw that I won fair and square. Hundreds of eyes are watching. Do you think you can intimidate them into silence? The reputation of the Black Wind Bar, I'm afraid, is about to be ruined by you. As soon as these words were out, all eyes were on Sunny Ridge. Indeed, if word got out, would people still dare to come to the Black Wind Bar? Julius Reed certainly repelled Sunny Ridge with a punch in front of everyone. Damn, you're fucking with me. Sunny Ridge pushed a guest aside and strode over to Julius Reed. If today's incident were to get out, the Black Wind Bar would be completely ruined. As the nominal owner of the bar, he actually went back on his word. If Morris Yarrow got wind of this, he'd probably use gang rules to punish him. That would be worse than death. What do you want? Seeing Sunny Ridge approaching, dominating Tiger quickly stood in front of Julius Reed. It's alright. I want to see just how domineering the three-blade group is. Julius Reed gestured for dominating Tiger to step aside and cleared the way. Kid, I want you dead. Sunny Ridge indeed planned to break his promise, at any cost. He couldn't afford the consequences. Having lost so much money, his status in the three-blade group would surely plummet, and having his hands broken, wouldn't he then be a cripple? Anyone who dares leak a word of today's events, I'll kill him. Sunny Ridge bellowed, grabbing a beer bottle on impulse. At the Black Wind Bar, manager Ridge shamelessly breaks his word. Julius Reed looked at Sunny Ridge with a teasing smile. Indeed outrageous, a guest commented. Many distinguished individuals come here to play, but the vast majority here still hoped for fairness. Now that the owner had broken his word and was making threats, their anger was imaginable. Manager Ridge, I can't believe it. You are causing trouble in your own bar. Exactly. If you're too scared to bet, don't make bets. And if you lose, don't go back on your word. Pa. The three-blade group is too shameless. Many distinguished guests spoke up, cursing. They had status in Gonzales City and were not afraid of Sunny Ridge. Moreover, the bar owner bullying guests was indeed an act worthy of harsh criticism. Manager Ridge, give us an explanation. Will you? A young man stepped out from the crowd, wearing glasses and clad in a black suit. Behind the young man followed several burly bodyguards, clearly skilled in combat by the looks of them. Young Master Leopold. Seeing the young man, Sunny Ridge's face grew even uglier. It was this kid who started the trouble. This brother was right in front of me, and I saw his every move crystal clear. Are you saying there are problems with this young master's eyes? Atlas Leopold adjusted his glasses, his tone turning somewhat icy. Of course not. Absolutely not. Sunny Ridge quickly tried to appease him with a smile. Atlas Leopold was the great young master from the Leopold family of Five River Province, one of the 4 young masters of the provincial city. The Leopold family was a famous wealthy merchant family in Five River Province. How could Sunny Ridge possibly provoke someone of that standing? Then I'll be taking your hands first. Julius Reed waved his hand, saying to dominating Tiger, make it quick and clean. Don't let him suffer too much. And take the money we're owed you. There. Sunny Ridge narrowed his eyes, and the people from the three-blade group immediately crowded behind him. Atlas Leopold was untouchable, but this young man before him, Sunny Ridge wasn't afraid of him. Seize them all. Break both their hands with Sunny Ridge's command. The men from the three-blade group swarmed forward. Episode 38. Sunny Ridge's wishful thinking. By doing this, aren't you afraid of breaking the bar's rules? If outsiders knew the owner of Black Wind Bar didn't keep his word, I wonder what they would think faced with the encircling members of the Three Blade Group. Julius Reed showed no sign of panic. You little shit. Still spouting nonsense when death is knocking on your door. Sunny Ridge ground his teeth in anger. He was certain to take the blame today. In less than a day, the news would probably spread throughout Gonzales City. Perhaps even to Morris Yero's ears. So now he couldn't care less. Even if it meant death. He'd take someone down with him. Vice Manager Ridge. This hardly seems proper. Atlas Leopold's expression grew grim at the sight of Sunny Ridge about to make a move. From the moment Julius Reed entered the bar, Leopold had been quietly observing him. Just by his aura, Leopold knew Reed was no ordinary person, and as a prominent rich heir in Five River Province, recognizable by Leopold, he was sure Reed must be a wealthy young master from elsewhere. The current situation was unstable, seemingly on the verge of a reshuffle. Therefore, he intended to befriend this young man, to hold more chips for his future games. Young Master Leopold, this is a matter for the Three Blade Group, and we hope you'll not interfere. Although Atlas Leopold had spoken up, Sunny Ridge did not give him the time of day. A strong dragon cannot suppress a local snake. A person Vice Manager Ridge wants dead can't be saved by anyone. Young Master, it's best to leave first. Once Sunny Ridge goes mad, I'm afraid it'll be bad for you. An elder by Leopold's side whispered quietly in warning. It was clear to anyone with eyes that Sunny Ridge was no different from a desperado now. Happening at Black Wind Bar. As the bar owner, he was bound to be culpable. Knowing Morris Yero's iron-fisted way of handling things, Ridge would likely face more than just being stripped of his vice managerial position. Since Vice Manager Ridge insists on doing it his way, I will say no more. I take my leave. Atlas Leopold glanced at Julius Reed, then left swiftly with his bodyguards. Mr. Ghost, check out this kid's background for me. He had a hunch that Julius Reed was no small fry. Understood. Young Master. The elder by Leopold's side nodded, beginning to make arrangements to handle the matter. Inside Black Wind Bar, Julius Reed and his group were completely surrounded. Big brother, I'll cover you. Get out of here. Dominating Tiger's face was filled with a murderous aura. There were two men from the Three Blade Group, and in that moment, he felt unprecedented pressure. Aaron Jackson. This man is dishonest and a sore loser. What should we do? Julius Reed asked with a smile. Hands clasped behind his back. No signs of nervousness ever showed on his face. It was as if he was on his own turf. If you dare to break the rules, you'd better be prepared to face the consequences. Aaron Jackson took a cigarette out of his pocket and slowly lit it in front of everyone. Aaron Jackson. Sunny Ridge's brow furrowed as he felt the name was somewhat familiar. After thinking hard, his face suddenly changed. You're Aaron Jackson. As the vice manager of the Three Blade Group, he was much more informed than the average person. In Gonzales City, the only threat to the Three Blade Group was Aaron Jackson. This person was too mysterious, and acted without any regard for consequences. Morris Yero had also thought about getting rid of Aaron Jackson, but after a brief encounter between the two, the Three Blade Group's Gonzales City branch received an order. Unless absolutely necessary, do not conflict with Aaron Jackson at all costs. No one knew what they talked about during that meeting, but the fact that it made the rising star Morris Yero calm his aggression was enough to shock everyone. Correct. I am Aaron Jackson. Aaron Jackson held the burning cigarette between two fingers and licked his lips, saying, even Morris Yero doesn't dare speak to me like this. Do you think you're worthy? His. The patrons present inhaled sharply, their bodies trembling involuntarily. In Gonzales City, Aaron Jackson's reputation was almost like that of the King of Hell. Anyone he targeted would not survive a day. Now, with Aaron Jackson himself standing in front of them, how could they not? Durham Tennick's Sunny Ridge was startled and subconsciously took a few steps back, but then a smile appeared on his face. Aaron Jackson. This is the Black Wind Bar, a key area protected by the Three Blade Group's branch office. He pointed to the Three Blade Group members beside him. Heaven had a path and you didn't take it. Hell had no gate yet you broke in. If I capture you, Boss Yero would surely be overjoyed. Sunny Ridge was worrying about how to resolve today's issue. After all, ruining the reputation of Black Wind Bar was enough for him to be expelled from the Three Blade Group. But if he could capture Aaron Jackson, it would undoubtedly throw the entire Gonzales City into chaos. At that time, the Three Blade Group would be able to take Aaron Jackson's place. This was exactly the scenario Morris Yero wanted to see. That depends on whether you have the ability. Aaron Jackson threw the cigarette butt on the ground and ground it out with his left foot. Do you really think my Three Blade Group's reputation is empty talk? Sunny Ridge sneered and quickly disappeared behind the group members. If you are smart, I won't make it difficult for you. But if you insist on resisting, when it comes to a fight, no one will be spared. Sunny Ridge's voice came from afar, with a hint of pride. I respect you, Aaron Jackson, for being a man. If you surrender willingly, I promise in front of everyone here, I will not make things hard for you. If he could capture Aaron Jackson alive, Sunny Ridge would surely rise to fame overnight. Even if they faced retaliation from Aaron Jackson's company, the Three Blade Group feared nothing. As for the other young man, I'm afraid I'll have to chop off both his hands and feet, and beat him to death while he's still alive. Remembering how Julius Reed had ruined his reputation, anger rose within Sunny Ridge. No matter what, he would not be able to wash away today's stain for the rest of his life. Sunny Ridge's resolute attitude made the hearts of everyone present race. Can you handle these people? Julius Reed still looked at Aaron Jackson with a nonchalant expression, as if completely unaware of the danger he was in. No problem, as Aaron Jackson answered. He lunged forward. In just an instant, he was face to face with the gun-wielding Three Blade Group member. Crack. Amidst the sound of breaking bones, he snapped the member's arm. Attack. Seeing the situation unfold, dominating Tiger did not hesitate for a second. Seizing the opportunity, Julius Reed's figure flashed and vanished from the spot in an instant. Episode 39. Pay to release someone. Fucking waste of space. Seeing his own men falling one by one, Sunny Ridge couldn't help but curse loudly. However, relying on the numerical advantage, he wasn't worried that Aaron Jackson and his people could escape. Since you dare to fight, don't blame me for turning you into a hornet's nest amidst the chaos below. Sunny Ridge turned and walked into his office, pulling out a gun. Vice Manager, do you need us to take action? A bulky strongman walked into Sunny Ridge's office. He was a bodyguard arranged by the Three Blade Group, ranked within the top 10 in the organization, known as Tiger. Morris Yarrow was worried about Aaron Jackson, so he had stationed Tiger in Gonzales City to ensure the safety of the three key members of the group. Along with Tiger, there was another man known as Buffalo. Usually, Tiger stayed at the Black Wind Bar. As for Buffalo, he followed the manager of the Three Blade Group's Gonzales City branch, Jared Cook, to ensure the safety of this Gonzales City manager. Although Aaron Jackson has some ability, such a small force daring to rush into my Black Wind Bar is simply too disrespectful to the Three Blade Group. Clenching a Thompson in his hand, Sunny Ridge's mouth curled into a cold smile. Tell the boss a message for me. Say Sunny Ridge is sending him a big gift. Aaron Jackson's head if you need me. Remember to call out. Tiger nodded, stepping into the room and pulling out a black cell phone. This was a special phone for internal use within the Three Blade Group, and it couldn't be tapped. Boss, Aaron Jackson has brought his people to the Black Wind Bar, and Sunny Ridge has already rushed out with a gun. After calling, he spoke softly. How many people did he bring on the other end of the phone? Morris Yarrow was in a meeting at the Three Blade Group's building. Over the years, with Morris Yarrow's continual operations, the Three Blade Group had become very formal. It was the weekly routine meeting of the group, and although it was late at night, the group members were full of enthusiasm. About 10 people. Tiger replied truthfully. Perfect. Tell Sunny Ridge I want no survivors. If he handles this matter well today, it will be a huge merit for him. Hearing the news, Morris Yarrow became excited. Inside the meeting room, the group members looked at their boss with puzzled eyes, remembering how he usually was calm and composed, wondering when he had become so visibly elated. Tell everyone the good news. Aaron Jackson has been killed at our Windy Johnson bar, Morris Yarrow said with excitement in his voice. Although Aaron Jackson was not yet dead, he was well aware of the defenses at the Black Wind Bar. With only 10 men, there was no way they'd get out. Aaron Jackson was doomed. What? Where did this news come from? Is it Aaron Jackson from Gonzales City? What's he doing at the Black Wind Bar? If this is true, we need to send people to Gonzales City right away to take the opportunity to swallow on Aaron Jackson's industries. The members were quite excited to hear this news. They had all heard of Aaron Jackson's name and were quite familiar with it. The Three Blade Group had the most difficulty developing their Gonzales City branch. Despite his many attempts to advance further in the city of the Black Wind Bar, Morris Yarrow hadn't managed to make significant progress. For this, He had once personally led the group's experts on a nighttime raid of Aaron Jackson's mansion, but in the end, he was the only one who came out alive. The reason Aaron Jackson didn't kill him was because Morris Yarrow offered $2 billion to buy his own life. This incident was considered by Morris Yarrow to be the greatest humiliation of his life, and he had never disclosed it to anyone. Now that Aaron Jackson was about to be killed at the Black Wind Bar, how could he not be excited? Meeting adjourned immediately. Mitchell Pendleton, Bridger Davenport, the two of you take the core members of the group and follow me to Gonzales City overnight. We'll take the lead before others notice. A cold look flashed in Morris Yarrow's eyes. You once took $2 billion from me. Now I want you to pay with your life. Meanwhile, inside the Black Wind Bar, Sonny Ridge was aiming his gun. Bro, you need a hand. Just as he was about to shoot, a voice sounded from behind him. No need, go and help. Before he could finish speaking, Sonny Ridge sensed something was wrong. This voice, why does it sound so familiar? It's you. The next moment, his face changed dramatically. This was clearly the voice of the young man he had just been gambling with. Sonny Ridge felt an icy chill run down his spine. He violently turned around, intent on striking first. Bang. But where was the chance for him to fire? Julius Reed's left foot kicked out fiercely, sending the Thompson gun flying to the side. The next moment, Julius Reed gripped Sonny Ridge's neck with one hand, slowly lifting him from the ground. How did you get out? At this time, Sonny Ridge's eyes bulged, and his face turned a blackish purple. He couldn't understand how the young man managed to escape with nearly 100 of his men surrounding the place. A sense of helplessness spread throughout his body, as if he was about to suffocate at any moment. Whoosh! Just then, a gust of wind came from behind Julius Reed. His eyes narrowed, and he quickly sidestepped. Bang! Following a loud noise, a muscular man landed where he had just been standing, and the floor where he stood was now shattered to bits. Let him go. The fierce tiger clenched his fists tightly, his eyes shooting out a cold gleam. After noticing something was amiss from outside, he hurried out post-haste, but it was still too late. Julius Reed sized up the fierce tiger and shook his head gently. The man was indeed strong, but truly, he was not worth mentioning in Julius's presence. I will tear you to shreds. Upon hearing Julius Reed's words, the fierce tiger's facial muscles began to twitch. As a top 10 bodyguard of the Three-Blade Group, he was being looked down upon. Boom. He leaped high, his left leg chopping down viciously. This strike was incredibly powerful. If it connected, death was certain. Overestimating yourself. Julius Reed threw Sonny Ridge onto the ground and raised his left hand to grab the fierce tiger's left leg, seeking death. My kick could split even stones in half. Seeing his opponent dare to catch his attack, a sneer crept into the fierce tiger's heart. If he was looking for death, he would oblige. Bang. But the moment they made contact, the fierce tiger's face turned pale. His leg felt as though it had struck solid steel, shuddering his entire body with excruciating pain. Julius Reed's grip was like a vice, holding tight to the fierce tiger's left leg, and his right fist hammered down swiftly. Crack. A bone-chilling sound of breaking bones made the fierce tiger's heart wrench as though it were being cut by knives. Beads of cold sweat instantly covered his forehead, and his complexion became extremely pale. On the ground, Sonny Ridge looked as if he had seen a ghost. Collapsing and trembling all over, the fierce tiger was a top 10 bodyguard of the Three-Blade Group, a man who had once taken down dozens by himself. I told you, you are not my match. Julius Reed gave the fierce tiger a cold glance and spun toward him. Bang. Using the momentum, his elbow slammed brutally into the fierce tiger's chest, sending the over 200-pound man flying into the opposite wall. Leaning against the wall, the fierce tiger's eyes were slightly closed, blood dripping continuously from his mouth. It was uncertain whether he was dead or alive. A renowned top 10 expert of the Three-Blade Group, taken down in one move. Tell your boss to come with $50 million to pick someone up. Julius Reed gripped Sonny Ridge's neck with one hand and, under the gaze of countless onlookers, dragged him out like a dead dog. The members of the Three-Blade Group all stopped in their tracks, their eyes filled with indescribable shock. Episode 40, Secretary, Riley Expressway. This is the fastest route from the provincial capital to Gonzales City, and it only takes 2 hours to get there from the Three-Blade Group. At this moment, a convoy was speeding on the expressway, driving over the speed limit the entire way. Boss, Fortune really is on our side in the Mercedes in the middle of the convoy. Julius Reed, the deputy manager of the headquarters of the Three Blade Group, said with a laugh. His face was brimming with joy. Aaron Jackson's power in Gonzales City was too strong and severely hindered the development of the Three Blade Group. He dreamt of removing this thorn. Now that Aaron Jackson had delivered himself to their doorstep, how could they not be pleased? If he's looking for death, he can't blame me for being impolite. Morris Yarrow sat in the back seat with his legs crossed. Nobody wanted Aaron Jackson dead more than he did. For this feat, I suggest bringing Sunny Ridge back to headquarters to plan a new bar. The success of the Black Wind Bar can surely be replicated. Mitchell Pendleton, the strategist of the Three Blade Group, was very satisfied with Sunny Ridge. Removing the thorn that was Aaron Jackson would surely make the Black Wind Bar's business in Gonzales City boom. In the last few days, they had planned to expand into other provinces, and opening bars was the top priority, and Sunny Ridge had ample experience in this area, making him the ideal choice. Just as they were discussing, Morris Yarrow's cell phone rang. It's a call from Sunny Ridge. They must have succeeded over there. Morris Yarrow smiled slightly and answered the phone. Sunny Ridge, you've made a significant contribution this time. Whatever you want, just say the word boss. From the other end of the phone, Sunny Ridge's voice was nearly trembling. What's the matter? The three people in the Mercedes were startled. Morris Yarrow, right. Your guy lost 50 million in the bar, cheated at cards and tried to duck out on the debt. I took the liberty of taking him away. If you want him back, bring a ransom of 200 million. The cold voice of a stranger came through, and the three people's faces changed dramatically. Their mood plummeted in an instant. Aaron Jackson. Morris Yarrow nearly gnashed his teeth as he uttered the name. This has nothing to do with Aaron Jackson. I'm just an ordinary customer. Your man reneged on his debts on your Three Blade Group turf. I'm sure Boss Yarrow won't just sit by and ignore it. Right? Julius Reed leaned against the car, with Sunny Ridge bound in the passenger seat, his hands broken and writhing in pain. What on earth happened? Who are you? Morris Yarrow's corner of the mouth quivered uncontrollably, and his heart raced faster. Beside him, Mitchell Pendleton and Julius Reed had similarly grim expressions on their faces. Good news turned to bad news. Who could stand it? Big brother, I lost 50 million gambling. It's my fault once again. The fear-filled voice of Sunny Ridge came from the phone. Then why does he say it's 200 million? Morris Yarrow took a deep breath, trying his best to stay calm. Even though the other party said he didn't know Aaron Jackson, Yarrow was sure Aaron Jackson had something to do with this. Principal and interest. You didn't think there'd be no interest, did you? Since Boss Yarrow runs a bar, haven't you heard of loan sharking? Julius Reed's leisurely voice came through. Tomorrow night at 6, Westlake Pier, 400 million. Wasn't it 200 million? Morris Yarrow's teeth gritted audibly. The interest will naturally rise. If you want him alive, remember to bring the money on time. After saying this, Julius Reed hung up the phone and walked towards his house, opening the car door. By now, the horizon was showing a glimmer of dawn. Aaron Jackson's people took Sunny Ridge and quietly disappeared into the darkness. More trouble than they are worth inside the Mercedes. Morris Yarrow crushed his cell phone in a fit of rage, his body trembling uncontrollably. Early the next morning, Julius Reed pulled Quella Radcliffe along to work at the company. Due to the enormity of the project and the significant amount of money involved, Quella Radcliffe made sure to personally oversee everything, ensuring that her first project in charge wouldn't encounter any mishaps. Where did you go last night? Inside the car, Quella Radcliffe suddenly spoke up. She hadn't slept at all the previous night, only resting after Julius Reed returned, which finally put her at ease. At the moment, her eyes were filled with bloodshot veins, and she yawned all the way in the car. Nothing. Just had a drink with Sky Reed, Julius Reed said with a smile, his voice full of affection. Really? Originally, Sky Reed also suggested I fix up the car, but after we drank, he got tipsy and forgot all about it. Even offered to give me the car, Julius Reed said casually, without changing his expression. We can't just take other people's things. Why don't you give it back to him? Quella Radcliffe, accustomed to being strong, disliked it when others gossiped behind her back. She had heard some of the rumors circulating in the past few days, with most people saying she got intimate with Sky Reed to land the position of project manager and even drove his Rolls-Royce. While she wasn't bothered by the gossip, She couldn't ignore Julius Reed's feelings. But now it seemed that her husband didn't care in the least. It's fine. No need for that, Julius Reed said with a faint smile, skillfully parking the car in front of the Radcliffe Group building. The entire Titan Group belonged to him. Not to mention a Rolls-Royce. Look, they came in Sky Reed's car again. How shameless. Julius Reed isn't acting like a man at all. Look at him smiling as he steps out of the car as the couple entered the company building. Some of the employees began to gossip. Without even thinking about it, it was obvious that the rumors were spread by Otis Radcliffe and Tess Radcliffe. Especially Otis Radcliffe, who, after losing the position of project manager to Quella Radcliffe, had been trying all means to bring about her downfall. Arriving at the elevator entrance, a security guard stepped up to block Julius Reed. Sir, you are not an employee of the company, and according to Radcliffe Group policy, you are not allowed inside the company. The security guard stood with his hands behind his back, blocking Julius Reed's path. His eyes filled with contempt. He had always looked down on Julius Reed's behavior, and after being entrusted by Otis Radcliffe, he was even more determined to take Julius Reed down a peg. Quella Radcliffe couldn't help but frown. Even a mere company security guard dares to gesture and criticize her husband? President Radcliffe, even if you are the project manager, that doesn't mean you can break the company's rules, does it? Just then, Otis Radcliffe came over with a beaming smile. He immediately pinned the hat of favoritism on Quella Radcliffe. I'm her secretary now. Seeing Otis Radcliffe appear, Julius Reed instantly understood. Without the general manager of Radcliffe Group's instruction, how could a mere security guard dare to act like this? When did this happen? As the general manager, why am I completely unaware? Otis Radcliffe sneered coldly. Now Quella Radcliffe spoke up firmly. From now on, Julius Reed is my secretary. President Radcliffe, don't tell me that as a project manager, I don't even have this bit of authority. Or is it that my title as project manager is just a courtesy title given by you, Otis? You really have some nerve.